Hi, my name is Nick Burnham and I'm at Southampton Boat Show looking at the Finnmaster T8. Now this is a boat that's had a bit of a refresh. They've changed the upholstery in here, they've made it a bit smarter and changed some of the finishing, but essentially it's the same boat, which is a really practical, sensible sports boat. It's built in Finland, so you get that typical Finnish quality. So you've got stainless steel windscreens, for example, and everything feels real solid. And it's got a 300 horsepower outboard, so the engine is right at the back, and that's giving all of this area here for your day space, and it's a nice deep cockpit as well. A couple of practical features: there is a little galley unit under here, so you've got a ceramic hob and a sink, and then there's a drawer fridge that is under this seat here, and then these two seats here will swivel, so you can make this all seating area here, and there's a canopy that lifts up from the back to enclose it. But of course it's not all cockpit, there is a small cabin as well. Now on the inside it's clear to see how much of a cockpit orientated boat this is, because you don't have a great deal of living space in here, you don't have standing headroom for example, but what you do have is a little seat that I'm sat on here, and then a big double bed at the front, which is fantastic for a couple for overnighting. There's also a separate loo, which is very important if you're spending a night on the boat, and interestingly what Finnmaster have done is they've squeezed another berth back under the cockpit. It's very low headroom and it's a small double at best, or maybe a large single, but what it does mean is that if you've got a family with a couple of kids, you've got a decent area here for the grown-ups and somewhere for the kids to sleep as well. So out here on the water, the first thing you notice is this driving position. It's something the Finnish are always very big on, and it's certainly true of this boat. So you've got a really nice wrap-around bolster seat here. It adjusts both in terms of the sliding, but also on the side you can adjust the height, and that means you can really get this exactly where you want it. And the steering wheel as well, you can tilt to get where you need it. In fact, I normally drive this boat stood up, but on this boat today I've been driving it sat down all day. We'll put the kill cord on just to be safe, although actually you are really in this boat and not on it. In terms of the engine, well, we've got Yamaha's 300 horsepower engine on this. The base engines are 250. 300 has been the largest up until now, but they've just started putting a 350 on. But in actual fact, having driven this today, I would argue whether it's worth the extra, because the performance, that's tick over, and we can get this onto the plane. There, that's planing. So there is an argument as to whether you'd want any more performance than that. Once she's up and running, you do feel very well protected in this seated position. The screen is nice and high, you've got great visibility, and even on a brisk September day like today, you're well protected. And in terms of the sea keeping, we've just managed to find a convenient wash there. It's a soft ride, it's a deep V, it does cut through it quite well. That wasn't a particularly big wash, but we went through a ferry wash earlier that was huge, and it was spectacular but not frightening. Performance wise, well, flat out she's winding out to about 48, 49 miles an hour. That's a sort of a mid 40 knots top speed. If we trim it out there, that's currently showing about 45 miles an hour. It's just over 40 knots. And in terms of cruising, we can back that right off, and that's a nice cruising rate now at about 30 knots. It's reading about 33, 34 miles an hour. But the other great thing about this boat is the handling. As I mentioned earlier, it's got the power steering, so this is finger light, and you can really throw it into a turn. So if I crank that round now, you can turn pretty much as sharp as you like. You get just a touch of cavitation on a really hard turn, but the boat banks and turns beautifully. Really makes for a fun drive. And it's just a great boat to be out here having fun on the water with.